You guys. You guys. I'm up this late off of complete chance. I shouldn't be up right now. I'm fucking my sleep schedule, but luck has blessed me. The trailer came out an hour ago while I was distracted. Let's react to this shit post haste. Get it out. Oh, I'm so excited to see what they've got in store for us, guys. Okay. Let's honestly, deadass, let's just get right into this. Clue of thread, raveled in a single strand whose beginning is its end. Moments become wefts and warps that crisscross into a weave, and the flow of time spools in a single spot.
그거 맞았다고 엄살은. 일어나. 안 일어나?
Looks like a member of the thumb.
티켓. 보기 용하니까 이걸로 닦아라.
네놈 손에 들린 그 하얀 건 도대체 뭐지? 우리 딸은 분명
Member of the middle.
있을 텐데. 달렘, 마음에 안 드는 거 있으면 언제든 말해. 어떤 형태로든 반드시 되갚아 줄 테니까.
육체의 아름다운 원형을 세상에 드러내려면 살갗을 도려내고 척추를 끊어야 하지.
The ring.
그러면 구도가 지나치게 안정화되더군요. 결국 예술이란 매 순간 이뤄지는 선택과 고통의 반복. 요시히데, 그대 눈에는 이 작품 어떻게 보이시나요?
너의 첫 울음과 마지막 숨결
Pointer.
모든 순간의 한가운데에서 나는 너를 보고 있다.
네가 생기고서부터 내 인생은 줄곧 불행했다. 알고 있니? 그래, 그걸 잊으면 안 되지.
왔구나. 안 그래도 네 생각을 하고 있던 참이었어. 가끔 네가 보고 싶을 때는 말이지.
Roland?
네가 찢어버린 이 화상.
No, it can't. No. Why does that vaguely resemble Roland? That's scary.
간단한 질문이야. 집으로 직접 돌아와서 확인해
It's
보면
Pointer.
길을 잃은 내 아이야. 돌아오는 방향을 모르겠다면 가장 아팠던 첫 매듭을 더듬어서 되짚어라. 그 떨림이 멎는 곳에는 내가 있단다.
Fuck, dude. It's so hard to tell what's being said in symbolism and what's being said literally. It is so hard to tell. Oh, fuck. Can I say, first of all, I love the animation that we're getting. And seeing that angle of Ryoshu was super cool. God, I love how the production value of the art and animation is just getting so much better. So it is hard to tell because the way that we're seeing the child and the way it resembles Ryoshu, it's hard to tell if what the impression that we're being given is that this is Ryoshu's child, obviously because it resembles her, or if this is supposed to impart the image of this is Ryoshu when she was in the grasp of the fingers, before she grew up and was trained by them and such. The way that it asks about the impressions of this piece, it does come across that it's Ryoshu's child and they're like taunting her, similar to how her source material is of the Lord taunting her to paint an image of a young woman dying in a wagon crash, and then what happens is that they choose Yoshihide's daughter in the story to be the young woman in order purely to impart misery onto the artist to get the most out of the art that's made, and to spite because the daughter didn't want to marry the Lord. Sorry, that's just a little lore dump of Hellscreen, the source material, from what I understand of it. But I'm curious if it could be fully fucking symbolism of this is an image of your past self when we were the ones turning you into what you've become, or this could be more blatant, more just what it looks like, which is her child being held against Ryoshu and being used as a tool to sort of like exploit her or some such. We don't really get any idea of what it's going to mean in terms of Ryoshu and the sinners and the dynamic that imparts there, but it definitely is interesting the kind of vibe that it's giving. It's a very dire, very like sort of, I don't want to say dark because it doesn't impart darkness. It imparts like severity. Like this feels like the type of tone of this is about to be heavy. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just optimistic because of what happened with Kanto 8 and the way it ended. How we were actually able to preserve what mattered in Hongwon for the most part. But I'm hoping that we're able to actually save her daughter or save this manifestation of herself, of whatever exactly is taking place here within this imagery. I feel like Limbus Company and the Sinners are getting to a point where we are strong enough to be able to take on these forces. I mean, we survived the waves of we survived the waves. That is an incredible feat as far as like Project Moon power scaling goes, because they're not going to be nerfed or debuffed by the singularity that nerfs the Abnos. They are the strength of the waves, just given fact. And there are color fixers which struggle with the waves in lore. So the Sinners being able to, like, by cutscene canon, survive the waves as a whole and protect Dante without Dante getting a single scratch on him. The Sinners are at a point of like crazy earnest strength, which shows Sinclair has improved at a massive scale due to the way the Sinners scaling works off of Dante debuffing them all to meet and like a middle ground between all of their strength levels combined, with Sinclair nerfing them heavily as a result of being a member of the Sinners. So we're getting to such a point where fighting the fingers like this, we're probably going to be on an equal playing field to a degree. Like, I feel like the middle, we're going to be able to be on an equal playing field because of what we've seen of Ricardo and the other middle members so far. But members like the Thumb and the Ring and stuff, those are going to be where we're going to hit, like, walls, I imagine. Hopefully this means we're going to get to see Ricardo again as well. Let's do one more watch through of this trailer and see if we catch anything else on the second watch through. And if we don't, I'll give my final thoughts and then we'll end the video. Thank you guys so much for putting up with my rambling. I'm very excited about this and I'm so in love with the lore. A clue of thread raveled in a single strand whose beginning is its end. Moments become wefts and warps that crisscross into a weave, and the flow of time spools in a single spot. It's definitely a member of the Thumb. Yeah, Thumb. Middle. What do you think you're doing, my man? That's a white colorway in your hand. A white colorway? The hell is a white colorway? White was highlighted as if it's supposed to be of importance. Colorway wasn't, which is interesting, but white was. Huh.
우리 딸은 분명
Pretty sure I
검정색을
remember my little girl
가져오랬을
asking
텐데.
for a black one.
달렘,
Buddy,
마음에
you
안
ever
드는 거
find
있으면
anything you don't
언제든
like, you can
말해.
talk to me about it.
어떤 형태로든
I'll always make sure to avenge the wrongs no matter what I gotta do to get there.
육체의 아름다운 원형.
Okay. So, the vibe I'm getting there is that the thumb member was getting frustrated or even tired of the child. The thumb steps in, calling the child a white colorway. Whatever that means, I don't know. But interesting. To reveal the beautiful original form of the human corpus to the world, the skin must be removed and the spine severed. This is the ring, of course. That approach, however, runs the risk of being far too safe with the composition. After all, art is a accumulation or culmination of moments and choices and the suffering therein.
주는 선택과 고통의 반복. 요시히데.
Yoshihide, will you impart your impression of this piece, how it appears in your eyes? And it's a clear image of the child, either meant to represent Ryoshu or to represent her child in totality, bearing its resemblance to her by the eyes, hair, etc.
그대 눈에는 이 작품 어떻게
The line, however, definitely gives the impression it's referring to another entity than herself, but that could always be referring to, here is an image of your past self, etc., which P-Moon has gone in the poetic or the abstract sense of the wording before, so we can't write it off. But
너의
the daughter angle definitely feels appropriate. From the echo of your first cry to the whisper of your last breath.
마지막 숨결 사이 모든
In my
순간의
heart of
한가운데에서
every moment, my eyes catch a glimpse of you.
너를 보고 있다.
네가
나는 너를 보고 있다.
So, either that's a young Ryoshu or that is her child being towered over by another entity, another person. Did they have a finger representation or no?
네가 생기고서부터
My life has been nothing but an unending stream of misery ever since you happened. Did you know
내
that?
인생은 줄곧 불행했다.
Okay. What I'm getting from this is maybe supposed to be Ryoshu as a child, because it's not a child of the age of the baby we saw earlier with the other fingers. Maybe this specifically is a flashback to Ryoshu and her mother. Her mother had a certain disposition towards her that Ryoshu essentially vowed to never have, and that's what she meant by, I've always had my eyes on you. The interpretation of, if I ever have a child, I will treat her far better than I was treated, something along those lines. And maybe that's what she means by that.
알고 있니? 그래.
Good, don't you ever forget that. That image, it just bears such a fucking resemblance to Roland because of the suit, the way that the hair is almost disheveled. That is stressful to see. Because I don't know how to interpret that. It's probably just a dude in a suit, right? But the way they etch out the face, and it almost makes it look like Roland with the mask on.
안 그래도 네 생각을 하고 있던 참이었어.
Plus the voice. The voice, man.
가끔 네가 보고 싶을 때는 말이지, 딸.
Is that what they mean by... Let's... The burn mark you've seared into my face. Let's say that somehow is Roland, right? The child of a color fixer. Would that be what they mean by the white colorway, maybe? I don't know. That's weird.
네가 찢어버린 이 화상 자국을 결에 따라 매만지곤 해.
Where's the child, you ask? Pointer finger.
간단한 질문이야.
Very simple answer to that. Why don't you come home and find out?
길을 잃은 내 아이야. 돌아오는 방향을 모르겠다면 가장 아팠던 첫 매듭을 더듬어서 되짚어라. 그 떨림이 멎는 곳에는 내가 있단다.
And then the symbol is cut in half. Very much gives the impression that, yeah, we are going to end up using Ryoshu's sword and finally unsheathing it one way or another. Oh, shit, man. I don't have much more to say. I've said my thoughts out loud pretty much. That is interesting, though, guys. Very, very interesting. Thank you guys for showing up and watching. Be sure to leave any thoughts in the comment section if you have thoughts or theories of your own on what this stuff might represent, because I for all I know, I'm missing a couple key parts. I try to be kind of up to date and like in tune with PM lore because of how much I enjoy it and how into it I am, but I very much could be off base or like missing a thread or two from Runa, perhaps. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments for me, because I want to hear you guys' ideas as well. Cheers for popping up if you did. Have a good morning, have a good night, wherever it is you are, okay? Deuces, folks.